Okay, SDA Live Land. We're back at the University Club of Boston for the second night of some great professional squash doubles. This is the first match of the quarterfinal round. In fuchsia, we have defending champion Robin Clarke on the left wall. His partner from Australia, Zach Alexander. Looks like they've won the toss. And they're going up against number 2 seeds, John Russell from England. He makes his home at Episcopal Academy in Philadelphia. And his partner, Chris Callis, a Philadelphia native out of Penn Charter High School in Princeton. And they have quite a hard match. Last night we had Robin Clarke commentating. Tonight we have hometown hero Will Hartigan.
Hero, I like that slate.
So Will had a tough match last night. We really hope to see him online tonight, but he's commentating, so
We don't need to talk about that anymore, okay?
you can go to the World Wide Web and on YouTube, SDA Live, and see the repeat of his match. I know he will repeat it and analyze himself.
Learn from my mistakes.
Okay, here we go. We got Zach Alexander, hard serving John Russell. Will, you've played against these guys before. What type of match do you foresee in this quarterfinal?
You know, I think of all four of these guys as extremely smart players. This is not going to be a match that turns into just four guys banging the ball around as hard as they can. All of them have super high squash IQs. All of them played really high level singles too. Higher level singles than a lot of guys on tour. I mean, Zach might have reached the highest ranking of any singles player on the SDA. Is that potentially accurate?
Well, John Russell was up there. He was in the top 50.
John was too.
He was top 50, and we right off the first point, we've got an issue here. Looks like a broken racket or string, and it ended up going for winner. Interesting team of Russell and Callis. You've got the veteran John Russell and Chris Callis, but both of them known for their tremendous hands. Great touch, great shot-making ability. The one thing about Zach Alexander, I'll say, is that even before he started playing a lot of hardball doubles, my friend and head coach at Cornell University, David Palmer, who is the touring pro here at the University Club of Boston, was singing high praises of Zach's doubles ability. In fact, they teamed up the last Commonwealth Games to win the gold medal in softball doubles. Much different from this game.
Good passing shot from Russell there.
Yeah, it was good position by Callis there. I don't think Zach Alexander even saw the ball. And definitely the black strip felt setting up the screen.
I don't think that Callis and Russell have ever played together. I'm really curious to see how this team works out.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting match. Robin Clarke being a very steady left waller defending champion of this tournament, and he's going to basically make very few errors and really pick his spot. And he's hoping that his partner Zach Alexander is going to bring some heat and open up the court.
Yeah, I mean, my feeling would be that Team Future will not give you any errors. I mean, you know, a few errors, but they will be on court for a very long time if they have to be.
Yeah, they're prepared to be. Yeah, they've got that mentality.
I think Callis Russell have a little more variability, both on the, hitting an amazing amount of winners side and potentially making errors. But I think this is going to be a long match.
I think so too. So brace yourselves, SDA Live World here.
JR with a nice tweener.
Yeah, John Russell has won the world doubles a few times for England, partnered with Clyde Leach. And they've beaten
2-all from the right.
They have beaten a couple of really good Australian teams in their couple wins over the years. Two-two's the score. Each team's kind of feeling each other out here.
Just let.
And
2-all.
Pretty good cross court, and Chris Callis elects to call a let rather than, in this first game you don't want to hit anybody when you don't have to. You know, maybe in game 5 or 4 you'll see playing through.
Early on, it doesn't really seem like Fuchsia has a plan of isolating one guy.
No,
I would say that Black is hitting right now 80% of the balls at Rob.
as do most teams do, but they kind of fall into that Robin Clarke trap of him seeing a lot of balls and getting them frustrated.
Yeah,
so
he can definitely lure you into some trouble. One thing he does so well, I noticed playing against him in the Canyon, is he holds his position.
Yeah,
Right
right
side,
just in
2-all.
front of the tee. He's
Yeah.
a big guy.
He stays close to the wall. He gets a lot of forehands on the left wall, and he hits that angle straight, kill to the front forehand corner.
Yeah.
On his forehand from the left wall.
Yeah. And he'll try and back you off.
Yeah.
And get you out of position. And if he sees the right wall guy back, he'll go front wall side. And then if he sees the left wall guy kind of trapped behind him, he'll go around the corner for a roll.
One thing I always notice watching Zach is how calm he looks on the court and how effortless he makes it look to play at this level. I feel like when I'm on court, I've just got frenetic, manic energy, and I'm, exerting so much effort just to, even when I'm not hitting the ball. Look at him. Look how casual he is right now.
Yeah, he's maintaining his position, and he picks his spots, that's for sure. So this is definitely a test of his ability. It could very well be that Team Fuchsia, it might be. Well, Robin said fuchsia.
Side out.
Yeah,
it's definitely not salmon.
No.
It's too bright for pink.
It's not Nantucket red.
Not Nantucket red, no.
We have Kristen Barbado in the box with us, affectionately known as Barbie.
3-2.
Okay, we finally got, we had a few lets there. Now, Clarke and Alexander up 3-2, first game. Their strategy might be to prolong this match a little bit just to see where they are, which wouldn't be unusual for this team.
The few times that good quick hands
Second
from
hand
Callis.
from the left.
Yeah, that's
3-all.
Forehand front side, beautiful shot. 3-3.
Callis was my roommate with Alex Dominic for 5 years in New York City. And I can say this because he was my roommate for so long, but he was a fat kid when he was little.
Oh, yeah.
And potentially that is why he has such good hands, because he was so slow.
Well, he also was one of the kids, I remember him as a junior, that he would hit to himself on the court tirelessly. He loved the game, and he hit, and he didn't really have any competitive matches until he was, I'm saying probably 10, 11 years old, and then once he started to run around the court, and he realized that, I'm going to get a little fitter, a little faster, and that's when he blossomed. So he played high school squash at Penn Charter, played
national champs once or twice,
and he's a graduate of Princeton University. One of your competitors in
he's been my competitor since I was 12, and I don't think I've ever beaten him.
4-3.
I actually have beaten him once.
How about in the parking lot?
In the parking lot, yes. He will not admit to me having a win against him at Meadow Mill in the U17s, consolation, but it happened. It's on U.S. Squash.
There you go. So at least one win over Chris Callis. I mean, if no one beats Will Hartigan 52 times in a row.
No, we are 51-1.
Okay, here we go. Russell and Callis are up 4-3. Nice little feather drop there by JR, John Russell.
5-3.
And you know what? That was, whether he meant it or not, we're going to assume that he meant it. Robin Clarke kind of cheated over the wall, figuring he was going to give him a straight drop, and he just rolled it at the last second. for those softball players out there, they call it a triple boast, but we'll ask JR, you know, after the match where he meant to hit that shot, because it was beautiful.
The one thing I've tried to do the few times that I've played JR is try to keep him on court for as long as we possibly can and run him up and down the wall and move him and see if we can beat him in a game of attrition. But he's so tough. It doesn't work all that much. You think he's going to get gassed, and he just doesn't at all.
He was that size when he was top 50 in the world, and a few years ago he ran a few marathons as well, believe it or not.
I think
side out, 5-ball.
I think there's a quote from Nick Matthew that he's the most skilled singles player that he's played with. Something along those lines.
Yeah, okay. We got a little bit of a controversy here. Kind of, Robin went through, and JR kind of walked his way. There was a let called. So we're going to replay this point. 5-all. Chris Callis coming around and lobbing Robin Clarke. So John Russell had a little opening there and elected to keep it in play. So very, very conservative first game. They're definitely feeling each other out.
You were mentioning before the match that Robin spent a lot of time playing with Jamie Bentley. Great shot from the back from Callis here. And you can really see that. I always hear about Jamie Bentley as being a guy from back in the day who was like a complete doubles player. He played doubles the way it was meant to be played. And I feel that way about Robin too. I remember watching him in his 5-game match against Monic and Mudge 2 years ago and just being blown away by how good his positioning is, how good his hands are, how smart his decisions are.
Yeah, he's definitely not a
side out,
conventional left wall shooter. He's more of a backboard. Willie Hosey comes to mind, one of Jamie Bentley's partners.
Yeah.
Where they had never lost to a team other than Waite and Mudge. So pretty good record for them. But you need a little bit of firepower as far as shot making at some point. And I know when Robin plays with Scott Arnold can help him out. And I'm working to see whether Zach Alexander, who in the round of 16 match last night hit a couple of really good front wall side nicks to the left wall player for winners. Never really won a lot of points with his power, which he does have. So it looks now like the team in black really want to keep playing Robin Clarke.
Yeah, I think if Zach wants to get more involved in this match, he's going to have to get more aggressive on positioning with Callis. He's pretty passive right now and staying behind him. And Callis is super aggressive on his positioning. Like, he will stay in front of you unless you really make him work for it. And you can see Zach, how far back on the court he is.
Well, here's a let call. Robin Clarke had pretty good position. John Russell never saw the ball. So for your partner to be there is exactly where you want him to be, right? As someone's going cross court, just to take away that split second of not seeing the ball, just to surprise him. And obviously, you're not going to be in a shooting or in a defensive position. So we saw Zach Alexander going for a backhand drop there. You know, picked up pretty easily by JR, but still, that was a good rally. You know, this is a 20-hit rally where you've moved JR up and back. It's funny that it seems both strategies are you're going to try and pick on the left wall guy. The other thing I was thinking for Zach Alexander to do is possibly take a few more balls in the back to Robin so that Robin can stay up and maintain his position if they're going to go after him 90% of the time.
Yes,
But,
let.
you know, there's going to be, with Robin's position, there's going to be a lot of let calls there. John Russell calling a let there. If he's not comfortable in swinging, he's just going to call a let.
It's tough. You can tell Zach is actively trying to get more involved since he's kind of getting iced a little bit. But Callis is doing a good job of not overhitting it too much or keeping his cross court shallow so they don't come around at the back of the court to Zach.
Yeah, neither team is really giving up any bad cross courts or loose balls here. And there's a 3-wall winner from Chris Callis. Dead Nick. 9-6, the team in black. The second seeds are up. It looks like every time Zach Alexander gets a backhand, he's going to look to see where JR is positioned, and he's going to go short. And if he sees him up, then he's going to lob it over his head. So
yeah,
it's going to be 2-on-1 for both these left wall guys.
You can see Team Fuchsia's definitely trying to isolate JR a little bit too. So both teams are hitting a lot more balls to the left wall, which is common in doubles, but neither guy is going to give you a lot of errors. And if they do make a few errors, they're going to back off and play smart. That's why I just think this match is going to go.
Yeah,
it's going to be an absolute marathon.
It's kind of unfortunate. If you see parts of the draw here, there's some pretty good openings. It's sort of unfortunate that the defending champion has to go against the number 2 seeds in this quarterfinal. But that's the luck of the draw, in that Zach's coming up and Robin didn't get to play a lot of tournaments last year, although he did win this one.
Is there one team so far in this match that you'd say has the upper hand, has the momentum?
No,
10-6.
this is the thing. I think there are going to be a lot of lets, there are going to be a lot of long rallies. Even though it's 10-6 here, you know, they're still not out of this first game. And if Team Fuchsia's game plan is to work John Russell, you know, for a long time, then, you know, loss in the first game, that's okay. They'll take that because, you know, it's an extra game for him on the court. But I don't think panic is set in just yet. They're quite content to move the ball around. JR just hit the ceiling there.
7-10.
I don't think there's any doubt that Fuchsia's mentality is to keep JR on court for as long as they possibly can and keep him hitting as many balls as they possibly can.
And the thing with isolating him is that, you know, he gets warmed up, and then every open ball, you know, he's quite capable of putting any ball away from any part of the court.
So you can see they just had 3 open balls in a row, and they chose to hit every single one of them back at JR.
Exactly. This is, you know, the mentality is that, you know, okay, we're down in this game, 7-10, but we're going to make it very difficult for you guys to close out this game, so we're going to work you.
I like to watch JR as much as anyone on court, technically, how he hits the backhand, because for his height, he gets such good pop on the ball with a small swing, but then above his head too, even when his arm is fully extended, he can lay it down, cross-court drop, or flick the reverse incredibly well. He's so strong. Every position on the back.
And the other thing too, he can roll the ball too. Like he can do a topspin, and you don't even really see it until it's too late. You go, oh wow, I didn't see that coming, and then you have to think, okay, I got to watch for that as well. And he's got, you know, it really depends on his mentality, what he wants to do with the ball. So, could have trouble. You know. That was, I think, a mistake on JR's part. They're just going to get a let out of that, and only because he hooked his racket around Robin Clarke's neck. Had he had his racket up and ready,
you'd throw your hip into him and drop it, wouldn't you?
Box him
out.
I would box him in, but you have to doubles. You have to get that racket up and behind. If it's in front, then you know that you've kind of held him in there too much. And these are subtle things that, you know, you have to show the referee. So, kind of a mental mistake there on JR's part. But it's interesting. I don't think Zach Alexander's made an error. Callis has hit a few good shots, but it's really going to be a long grind here. But
everyone's playing pretty conservatively right now. I mean, it's rare to see points and doubles go this many times up and down the left wall as some of these rallies have. I think it's only a matter of time until JR starts to shoot.
Well, here we go.
8-11.
Beautiful straight drop by Robin Clarke, and
Right side.
kind of a loose cross court where Robin was in position. Finally said, "You know what? I'm in position. I'm going to take my shot here." So after 30 hits, you know, he waited and he got the ball that he wanted finally. And John Russell, you know, knowing the tightness of his game, you took that forehand through the middle, and he could have gone around the corner, but Robin was in good position, so he just sent it up high and, you know, worked the point some more.
Great shot from Callis. He's so patient. It's really tough when you've been iced out this much.
And to hit a clean winner.
Yeah.
So
coming in.
Great hands.
And to wait until the opportunity's there.
Okay, tough going here for Team Fuchsia. They're down 8-12 in the first opening game.
Yes, Let.
So right there, we saw JR hanging on for dear life, hoping that that three-wall boast from Zach Alexander didn't nick, and it popped up. So we're going to play a let. 12-8.
It's amazing how good Callis has gotten over the last 2 years. I remember when I first moved to New York City and I was playing every weekend. Tough error from JR there.
12-9.
This is exactly the same opportunity he had 2 points ago, and he elected to fire it up in the air and regroup. And it was probably the wrong shot right there anyway, because Robin Clarke had crossed over and had moved up a step on him. So,
but that's part of the package with JR. You're going to get a couple of those over the course of a match.
The number of winners he hits, you got to see, you know, where his winner error ratio is, and he might be getting a little frustrated that he knows that Team Fuchsia is going to be trying to work him hard in this match.
When I first moved to New York City, Callis, Dominic, and I would always play matches, and we were pretty close in skill level. And then Dom and I saw Callis just gradually slipping away from us, but we didn't want to admit how big the gap was. It's hard to argue how strong Callis has gotten over the last 2 years, and the
Side
difference
out,
is almost
10-12.
imperceptible.
It's probably one of the reasons why Team Fuchsia really doesn't want to go near him at the moment, because over the past few tournaments, people have seen this skill growth from Chris. The other thing too is people should realize that he's now the highest American doubles player. I mean, there's Preston Quick has won a few titles, so he's got still a ways to go to surpass Preston Quick. But after that, you know, Greg Clarke is sort of in the mix, but not winning titles.
10-13.
But we have to go all the way back to Kenton Jernigan when he and Jamie Bentley were #1 in the world for you know, the highest ranked American doubles player. So it's quite a mantle that he carries for Team USA.
That's some good data, Slate.
Thanks, Will.
I saw Kenton Jernigan in a tournament recently.
I see him all the time now. He was in London for 10 years. And, and his brother's a member here now, and he played in the member guest we had first weekend of December. And
that might be
right
the first
side,
error from
11-13. Robin from
you're
the
up
right.
3 points, so he's entitled to go for it. So JR
Robin from the right.
I think
it's Robin from the right.
They're having a little discussion. I think it was the first. Yeah, he's not serving. That was the thing. He went to first serve, and it wasn't even his turn to serve. So maybe JR showing a little bit of fatigue. And then Robin Clarke promptly hits a first fault. Left wallers are both discombobulated for the moment. That's
Side out,
kind of
14-11, game ball.
Kind of a lucky cross court where Zach Alexander was going to hit it, and it just stayed too close to the nick, and
14-11.
It's pretty well got to go as an error.
I love these courts, but I think they're unique courts, and I have seen a couple of guys this weekend get caught off guard by funny
Callis
bounces.
Russell, 15-11.
The walls stick a lot.
Well, that's the first game, by the way, for John Russell and Chris Callis, 15-11. We're going to return in 2 minutes. Andrew Slater from the University Club of Boston with Will Hardigan.
John Russell and Chris Callis. Black. Him on the left.
Okay, SDA Live World, it's Andrew Slater from the University Club of Boston. I'm joined by Will Hardigan, and we're going into the second game of our first quarterfinal match. As a reminder, in fuchsia on the left wall, defending champion Robin Clarke, and his partner, new partner this year, another Australian, Zach Alexander.
Callis and Russell lead, one
high
game to
praise
love.
from David Palmer, former British Open
Love
and
all.
world #1. So we knew Zach was coming. This is going to be a tough test, being down one game to love. The team in black, John Russell from England, now coaching at Episcopal Academy in Philadelphia. And his partner, originally from Philadelphia, Chris Callis. Will, you mentioned that you roomed with Chris. What court did you guys practice in New York? R&T or University Club? Or?
At that time, it was when we first moved to New York City.
One
Great
up.
little box out and
hit the nick though.
And hit the nick. It was when we first moved to New York City. We were living on the Upper West Side, and Alex and I joined New York Athletic Club.
NYAC.
NYAC. I like that court. It's fast court.
Very fast court. Yes, indeed. And you got along well with the handball players there? Did they let them? Did they let you guys use their locker room?
Well is a very strong word. against their will, we got to share the locker room.
Side
There were
out,
a couple
1-all.
run-ins, but at this point, I have an amicable relationship with them.
That's good.
The handball folks are territorial and combative.
Yes, they're a different breed. That's all we'll say.
Yeah. Yeah, we have some good handball stories, actually. But for another time.
All right, 1-1. We're seeing a replay of Zach Alexander.
It's
2-1.
Setting up there. So we're now 2-1.
One thing you really don't want to do is give the other team quick points in doubles. For a match like this, where it's going to be
Second
such a
hand from the right,
marathon and you have to
2-all.
work so hard to win every point.
Exactly.
When someone gets a quick point like that little
We're seeing
trickle
open
that
ball.
Zach,
Zach saw an open ball and put it away, and JR had an open ball there and just boxed Robin out and just
Side
hit a
out,
beautiful
3-2.
hard straight drop, and Robin's throwing up his hands. You know what? I got out of position, and JR just burned me right there. So Russell and Callis have set up a lead here in the second game, 3-2. Robin Clarke going for that little
3-all.
cut into the front right side nick for a winner. So it's amazing that, you know, after all those long rallies in the first game, that every little mistake on length, we've seen some great hands and put away shots just on someone not sticking to hitting good length. You know, it's like doubles 101.
I'd say all 4 of
4-3.
these guys' execution rates on their shots are as high as anyone on tour. I mean, if you leave yourself exposed and leave the ball out of position, each one of these guys can lay it down pretty consistently.
Yeah, and the funny thing is that JR and Callis, the number 2 seeds, will do it in positions where you don't really expect it. You know, certainly at this high professional level, if you get an open ball, you expect someone to hit 9 out of 10 times. They'll hit the neck or hit a winner, but they'll do it from maybe off balance or weird positioning, and that's the beauty of
Right.
their skill. Robin Clarke will take his shots only when he's very disciplined. He'll only take his shots when he's absolutely set up and he's got good footwork.
Going into this match, I would have said that Black has the advantage, and that that I would say they're the slight favorite. But I can't definitively say why I think that is. It's somewhat imperceptible. What would you say the reason for that is?
Well, you've got a lot of experience from JR, definitely, having played on tour for a very long time and at the highest level. And I think Robin Clarke certainly has played some really good matches and he's won a few titles. But as far as in total matches, JR is way ahead of everyone. And Chris Callis, certainly playing finals and winning tournaments has helped. So you get a lot of experience playing those extra matches. Zach Alexander is sort of like a coming out party right here, in that this is on paper.
Right side, 6-3.
They're playing against the second seeds, and this is where, you know, you could see there might be an upset, but it really depends on.
Yes, let.
We're going to play a let there. Looks like it was. Robin just didn't clear enough. He let JR kind of hook him. And the ball was dying in the back, so really a veteran call there from John Russell.
It's like one of your call slates.
Listen, if I'm in trouble, I'll have radar lock on somebody.
I've seen it too. I can attest to that.
Yeah, you know, when you're
radar lock.
When you're one of the slowest guys ever to play this game,
That's not true.
and you can't hit the ball hard anymore. You have to use your brain a lot more, unfortunately, and rely on hands, which you know, when you're old and gray like me, well, that's all you have.
That's why you gotta keep hitting the hot tub downstairs. Keep the wheels fresh.
Swimming. Yeah, that's the last 2 years I've been doing a lot of swimming just to keep loose. It's not making me any faster, but it definitely keeps the injuries away. Nice lob by Zach Alexander, and I think as JR was going back to the wall, there's a look of panic on his face there, and now here's a
7-3,
situation just
left
for
side.
those who don't play a lot of doubles, and that Chris Callis was just tapped by the ball there, and we got to play a let because he was in the way, and so good positioning on Chris's part, and Zach Alexander's not afraid to, at least start a swing. There wasn't an automatic, I'm going to call let here.
So the match has settled into a groove where they're good long points. I don't think JR is going to get a lot.
I don't think.
That,
I mean, this
No
is.
let.
that's a taxi.
That's a.
Side
Yeah,
out,
that
4-7.
was a great hold by Robin Clarke, and yes, they've given the point to Team Fuchsia. No let. And
So they're having great points. They're long rallies. Everyone's playing fairly well, but Black is definitively winning more points than Fuchsia.
yeah, there's a
What
there's a
can
tight
Fuchsia
ball. Let's
do?
look at this. That's a great angle by John Russell. It hit right near the nick and tight to the wall. Robin Clarke with a rare error there, and just a pinpoint accuracy for JR.
Just let.
And
4-8.
here we're going. Wants a let.
Yeah, this is going to be. The argument here is that the ball was behind him, and
4-8. Yes,
Callis' argument is going to be that he could have gotten the ball back by posting it into Robin Clarke, which at this stage of the match you're going to have to give him that let.
Side out, 9-4.
And here's another weird angle that Robin tried to play with his forehand, and he hit the side wall with his racket, and then unfortunately hit the ball. And Zach is probably talking to him right now, saying, "Listen, when that ball comes by the next one, let it go. I'm going to take it on my backhand. You maintain your position." And definitely a couple of errors on the left wall there have sent the team in black, number 2 seeds John Russell and Chris Callis up 9-4. There we go. So little opening, Robin, little
second hand from the
tried
left,
for a straight
9-5.
drop. And got it. 9-5 for Black.
Black is keeping Robin working so hard, and I think it's going to be up to him to get a little more aggressive if they want to change the momentum of this match.
Yeah, you might have to, and the risk you take if you hit the ball away from JR is that you got to deal with Chris Callis and his shooting ability. So Robin trying to force another straight drop winner, kind of set JR up for a winning reverse.
We've got Mikey Ferreira, legend of the game, in the box. John Hyatt, another legend of the game. JR wanted me to give his 2.5-year-old son Jake a shout out, who's watching from home in Philadelphia.
Yeah, go to bed, Jake. It's past your bedtime.
Slates, it's past your bedtime.
No, I stay up late. I'm a night owl.
Okay.
Especially if there's great squash doubles to watch. You got to keep going here.
By the way, the turnout from the members is huge right now. The stands are overflowing, and it's such a fun event. The energy is huge.
Yeah, it's standing room only, and people are forced to watch the monitors down the bar, and we've had the women over at the Harvard Club. Little setup by JR. We're going to watch his anguish here because he had Robin Clarke boxed out and he missed the nick. He hit the tin, but that's a 13-5 shot right there. So comfortable lead, and they just have to close it out. Now, this is one of the things that definitely with say an older John Russell out there, you're down 6-13 in this match. What do you do? Well, the Jamie Bentley rule of thought is that keep him on the court as long as you can, trying to get some momentum going for the next for the next game.
That's it's such a tough mentality to have against Russell and Callis because
they're gonna try and end the game with shots. And
they can end it.
Yeah,
7-14.
so JR
I've
6-13 hit a topspin reverse.
I've played a lot of tournaments in the last 2 years with Adam Hughes, and he and JR have incredibly similar games now that I think about it. Now that I'm watching this, they both have a lot of heat, hold the positioning well, and can lay the ball down on the reverse. But Fuchsia undoubtedly has to do something to change the dynamic of this game because they're stuck right now.
Yeah, and that was
9-14.
the winning shot. So JR, he he's going, oh my God, I've had 2 sitters that I haven't hit the nick, and he tried it again just to end this game. So this is actually what I would do if I were Team Fuchsia here. Just work him, and then hope that you get some momentum in the 3rd game here. And JR's mentality is, I got to get off the court. I'm going to shoot. I've only got 1 more point to win. And there he did. He went cross court, dead neck, right in front of Zach Alexander's feet. And Zach's going, damn, I was up there. And he rolled it right in front of me. Okay, so we're going into game 3. We got a 2-minute break. Will Hartigan and Andrew Slater at the University Club of Boston will be back in 2 minutes. Okay, it's Andrew Slater and Will Hartigan back at the University Club of Boston. Tonight we have a full house. It's Friday night and it's quarterfinal night, and this is the first match on the docket, and a really tough one.
Real quick before we get started, explain to the crowd what you explained to me. What is a Toledo?
Well, anything in the Rust Belt, Toledo or Pittsburgh is a failed Philadelphia. Now,
hits the sidewall first.
Chris Callis is from Philadelphia, and he hit 2 Philadelphias in a row, and the second one he hit was tight up against the back wall, irretrievable, and that's a Philadelphia. But when it lands in the middle of the court for a sitter for someone, it's not a Philadelphia. It is
a Scranton.
Scranton, Wilkes-Barre, Toledo, Pittsburgh, anything. Trump country.
Trump country, exactly. Oh, good hands from.
And there we go. There's a winner. This is what Zach Allen
Side out, 1-0.
Last night.
You know that
he's got that little cross court side nick, and he's finally able to play one.
That quick reflexive forehand that JR just hit from the middle of the court where he went for a cross drop, but on his forehand from the left wall, reminds me of Matt Jensen. who does that better than anyone on tour. The few times I've played him, as you know, I have one shot, hard cross court. And no one buzzsaws me harder than Jensen. I mean, it's just chop, chop, chop.
Yeah, he's coming back. He's playing in the Century next weekend.
Yeah, he's in my draw. I'm not very happy about it. I think he should stay home in St. Louis or wherever he is.
He's apparently, according to U.S. Squash,
2-1.
based out of Florida. So Matt Jensen, why don't you give us a ring if you're around, watching this SBA live.
Jensen is watching. Got him on the horn.
Look at this. Okay, Zach Alexander
Second hand
took the
from the right,
backhand
2-all.
and tried to go around the corner. He was being proactive there because he hasn't seen much of the ball and hit the tin. But it's 2-2, and we still got. This is a critical game, obviously, for Fuchsia. They've got to win this game, and I don't think they've tired JR out enough to rely on fitness totally.
Yes,
And
let.
Robin Clarke's going to ask for
2-all,
let
Robin
here
from
because
the
he wants to
right.
play it off his forehand. JR taking away the roll corner and pretty much of the front wall.
That's veteran movement. I will say that
I can appreciate that. That's you got to be willing to take one for the team. You know, if that happens again in the old days, bang, you know, you put it in the center of his back and tell him to move the unsubtle way.
3-2.
Fuchsia serving up 3-2.
I think JR's face color was actually pretty close to Fuchsia after the last game. I saw him come over and get some water. But he's played too many tough matches. They're not putting him under enough pressure that unless they do something to create some serious pressure in this game, I think Black's in the driver's seat.
Right. If JR can just stand there, well, they've got him moving up and back now. That's they're appealing, and JR gives it up. He says, you know what, it was
Right side, 4-2.
It was a not up. So good sportsmanship from John Russell.
Matt Jensen
4-2.
just called in and said that he only watches JR because he only watches people in the same weight category as him. They're the
Well,
same
why not?
weight class.
Yeah, exactly. It's a beautiful thing. I'm sorry to hear that Matt Jensen's in John Russell's weight category.
Yes, let.
Things have changed
4-2.
since the last time you saw
Yes,
him.
let.
It's been a while. Okay, so we're playing a let. Robin Clarke and his partner, Zach Alexander from Australia, are up 4-2 in this game. And, wow, that's sick if that was good.
Side
That's
out,
a forehand.
3-4.
Wow. At lightning speed, just a tiny little poke, bang, front wall side nick from John Russell. That's the kind of thing that where you work so hard and you try to jam him, and he says, "Forget about it. I'm just going to put this one away. Thank you very much. I don't have to take a step. I'm just going to put it in the net. Thank you."
And it was a big point too. Fuchsia had gotten some
up-
momentum.
Up 4-2, and now a bad bounce at the back.
All of a sudden it's tied up.
4-4, and there goes the lead. And you know, your confidence drops. You got to keep working, and Team in Black is still pretty relaxed. Zach Alexander, you know, John Russell
Second
tried to
hand,
fire in that Matt
4-5.
Jensen backhand front wall side nick, missed it, and Zach Alexander answered with the same shot off the forehand. So that's a touche right there.
They have gotten JR moving this game though a little better.
Yeah, they're
all the way up and down the wall.
and you know, up and back, and you know, you risk when you bring them up, setting them up, but they're, you know, down 2-zip. They're this is it's a lunge.
Side out, 6-4.
We can't call it a dive. Not really a stumble. Okay, 6-4 for Fuchsia, and having given up two points to get it tied up. They've got the lead back, and now we've really got to put the pressure on.
You know, there's no question that JR is a little bit tired, and you got to continue to make him tired. The difficulty with it is that he's so good at holding his position.
Right. They went high to him that pass, and he said, you know, Chris, you cover that for me. And interesting call here. Zach Alexander tried to go through the middle. Chris was right there.
Zach
really good
right,
anticipation.
6-4.
We're going to play a let. It's nice to see Chris engaged in the game to the point where he can pick that up, because you know that was something new that Zach Alexander was going to try, and he was foiled. So he might not try that again for the rest of the match.
Second hand from the left.
Callis really is
6-5.
seeing so few balls here, though, and he's remaining patient. And when he does see an opportunity, when he does see a ball, he's not trying to do too much with it.
Yeah, it's a real testament to your game mentality to, you know, stick to, you know, basic squash sometimes. Sometimes if you're partnering 90% of the balls and you're losing, then you want to try and participate and shoot, you know, shoot your way out of trouble. And you're cold, of course. So 6-6, they've clawed back an error from Zach Alexander, and John Russell very content to keep peppering it at Robin Clarke. During the break, I overheard he likes to aim for the left knee of Robin Clarke. Keep it low, not shoulder height.
Who's that?
JR. Yeah, he doesn't want it high on Robin. He wants it like if he goes to him, he wants the pace left knee. So, but it's risky.
Right. You can see as soon as the ball gets to Callis, he just tries to inject pace, get Robin on his heels.
Nice pickup by Callis to anticipate that JR was out of position, and
left
Robin
side,
Clarke's
7-6.
really upset with himself because he had Callis out of position and he made an error.
Zach and Robin have made a few errors here in the last couple points, and it's so tough against a team like Black because you have to get aggressive and hit winners to beat them.
Yeah, they're
you also
frustrated.
can't afford to make any errors.
Second hand from the right, 7-all.
So Robin Clarke was out of position there. JR made the error, and Robin, you could tell, had a big sigh saying, you know what, I was in trouble there, and I just got a break. We're going to call let here. Nice rail by JR.
Right.
He just
7-all.
blocked a little too much. It's not a let point. It's just Robin Clarke had no opportunity to play that ball. So he's a little upset with himself that he hit a good rail, but missed opportunity. So once again, ball comes through the middle. Zach Alexander with the backing quickly goes short to JR. Just to move him. It wasn't a shot for a winner. It was basically just a little strategic shot.
Yes,
We're going to play another let here. He's coming around. 7-7, really close third game. Fuchsia needs to win this to stay in the match. John Russell, here we go. From the back of the court, goes for a straight drop. Middle of the tin. So obviously is a little frustrated by how many balls he's seeing. Once again, Zach Alexander's covering in the back of the court with the backhand.
Stroke to Russell and Callis. 8-all.
Yeah, that's wow. Yeah, they gave it 8
What
all.
what do you think of the reffing system on SDA, where there are 3 guys, 1 in the middle, 2 on the lines? Do you
Well,
think it's a good system?
yeah, they do that in the PSA now too. In the old days, you went through the referee, and depending on what side it happened, the referee had
Was it 1 guy reffing back in the day?
1 guy reffing, 2 line judges, and
Side out,
and
9-8.
the referee would decide which guy he would go to. Usually, it would be the side where the interference occurred or where the not up might have occurred. The one thing is that the referee had a lot of power, and a lot of the new players don't know the rules of doubles, and the referee really could, like foot faults, for instance. If you you can't appeal a foot fault,
Right.
and there are a lot of players out there at the moment that remain nameless that foot fault. But if you tell the referee before the match to watch out for them, you can get an advantage right away. Wow.
Such a good shot from JR.
Yeah, that's
11-8.
He had a high ball and risky shot because Robin Clarke's in front of him and just hits in a perfect winner.
That's the one that you think you're safe hitting
11-9.
against JR.
Exactly, and Robin's frustrated. JR was in front of him and he saw the opening, went for a straight drop and tinned it. So, okay, Zach Alexander, little forehand. Still going to JR. We got, looks like somebody called a let.
Yep.
Ball broken.
Yep. Just for the viewers online, we are in the facility, but we're not in the play to the point where we can see ourselves. So it is a broken ball. So we're going to play a let. So the old style of warming up with partners is not in vogue these days. The younger guys get out there, whack it around, hit a lot of reverse posts, 3-wall posts, get ball warm. So
who is in your opinion, who is the best doubles player that you've ever seen play? I mean, from a data standpoint.
I'm going to really date myself here because I started as a little kid in Toronto, and back in the 70s, you had a lot of parity. You had some great teams with Peter Briggs and Mark Talbot came up, Ned Edwards, Mo Khan from here in Boston.
I hear a lot from guys from your generation, though, talking about how the game has evolved into just hard hitting, banging it.
Well, but those are the below average players that just do that. The really good players in any era had shot making skills and could deal with the power or had power themselves. But Damien Mudge, having played both walls, will go down as probably the greatest player. But Jamie Bentley before him is the greatest right wall player, just a number of wins and so forth. So critical 12-9 here. Gary Wade on the left wall, obviously Hall of Famer. Won the most number of left wall tournaments.
13-9.
I think definitely when Manick comes back, he's got the tools as a lefty to surpass the Mo Khans and the Peter Briggs, the great lefty doubles players of a long time ago. But Team Fuchsia with the new ball, content to keep it going.
Great hands.
So JR tried to fool Robin Clarke by going through the middle a little bit, and Robin just popped in a forehand straight drop on him. But they're 2 points away from winning the match here. Wow.
11-13.
That was enough ball. That was that new ball fired it out of the court. So a little bit of life here for Team Fuchsia. They were down by 4, now they're down by 2. Wow, that's great
Big
length.
shot from JR.
Right through the middle, but
Second
but
hand
did
from
not
the
come
right.
off the back wall. Neither one of
11-14
them
match
could get it.
ball.
You think JR wants this to go 4?
No,
I think he's got the taste of beer in his mouth.
But you know, being experienced, he knows when to go for it. He knows when to hold them and when to fold them. But so he's being patient at the moment.
And these are the points in the match where experience pays off so much. It's tough not to get really tight at the end of doubles.
Oh wow! Look at that.
From the top rope.
So this is the match-winning match. John Russell ducks down, and Chris Callis hits a winning backhand drop right over John Russell's head to dead nick it. What a match-winning point we have there. So we've got another match coming up at 8:30. For those out there in SDA Live land, the Will Mariani Jim Bamber match, they're currently up 2-0. We'll return with a live match in very soon. Stay tuned, don't go away. Welcome back to the University Club of Boston. All you people on SDA Live on the World Wide Web. This is Andrew Slater from the University Club of Boston. And we've got our second quarterfinal match online. Just to report, Will Mariani and his partner Jim Bamber, they won their match 3-love. We might have an opportunity of seeing another match tonight, although it is going to start on the other court. So if that finishes, if this match finishes in due time, then we might bring the other match onto the camera court.
I'm excited to watch this match. You've got two pros from the Racket and Tennis Club in New York, James Stout and Eric Bedell, against two members, Mikey Ferreira and Witten Morris.
Yes,
so if they want to get paid next year, you know,
they might have to lay down here. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
A little bit of a controversy.
I didn't want to say it.
Now tell me about Bedell, because I'm unfamiliar with him. This is his first time to Boston, and
so Bedell played squash at Bates. He was number 4 or 5 on the team. Was never super highly ranked in singles, but I think it was because he didn't play as much as a lot of us did in juniors, and he played other sports, and he didn't really start focusing on squash until after college. And he has had one of the steeper learning curves of anyone, not only in doubles but in singles too. I mean, he's really a strong singles player right now. But I'm super impressed by his game. He's extremely fast for his size. I mean, he's about 6'2", and he moves like he's 5'7".
Yeah, he's a very tall guy. He's got good doubles build. He's tall, lanky. He's got long levers.
He has all the shots. He can lay the ball down. He's got a lot of pace. He's strong, good positioning, all that stuff. The one place that he's struggled in the past is patience and making errors.
And that comes from experience. And
right.
Of all the players out there, he's the least experienced. So,
but he's playing the best doubles that he's ever played. He and Bobby Burns won a pretty big tournament in Denver last year. So this will be very interesting.
The team in blue, we've got Mike Ferreira, playing out of New York, but he spent some time in Singapore and grew up in England. His partner Witten Morris came out of Heights Casino in Brooklyn, and Witten has played at a high level all his life. He's several-time U.S. amateur champion with several different partners. He's 43 years old, and I like to call him the hardest-hitting guy over 40. And that's part of his mystique here, in that he hits kind of a flat forehand. He's not going to do anything crazy out there because he's playing with really good, experienced player Mike Ferreira. So he's going to stick to hard hitting, no errors, court coverage. And we have our first point, and Bedell's coming in. Team in white, we'll call them the pros.
Witten is over 40, but he's still one of the fastest guys on tour. I mean, it'll be a huge number of balls that he covers in the front left today. Not for any reason other than he's used to covering that ball. But Team Blue, as much as any team on tour, is just a pure heat team. Mikey can obviously shoot the corners really well, but even when he does that, he hits it extremely hard. Their mentality is to jack up the pace here and just hit it as hard as they can. Unfortunately for them, Stout might handle pace as well as anyone on tour.
Yes, Stout is a multi-talented rackets and real tennis player as well. So
right, he's been the world champion in rackets since I think 2006, or maybe even longer ago than that. But he can absorb pace so incredibly well. He can also lay the ball down even when you break the ball on him at his feet. That was a good spot from Bedell.
Yeah, he hit it through the middle. Mike Ferreira was hoping to hit a backhand and couldn't get around in time to hit the forehand. So 2-love for Team in white. The one thing, if people out there have never seen rackets live, the ball is like a golf ball. And you're only allowed to hit the ball when you. Oh, we're going to have a let point situation there.
3-1.
They haven't called it just yet.
I think the
Yeah,
one
there it is.
unpredictable variable in this match is Bedell, obviously, like you said. You know what you're going to get out of the other three guys.
4-1.
They've been around on tour for a really long time. Everyone knows that Bedell is really talented, really skilled, but he's played fewer high-level matches.
Yeah, unproven in their eyes. So
yeah,
we're seeing that Mike Ferreira is just continually hitting to Bedell, trying to break him, a different angle every shot.
It would be very difficult to break Bedell down with pace. The one thing that I could potentially see happening is if they really start to pick on him, I could see him trying to force it a little bit, but that's what I'm watching for, to see if he stops feeling that way. That's 2 winners up the middle that Bedell's
right
had
through the middle.
First 6 points.
Error from Mike Ferreira. He's
6-1.
dejected, giving up a huge lead early in the first game.
I don't, now that I think about this, I don't see many big gaps in Team White. They are incredibly fast, both of them. I mean, Stout has a burst of speed, unlike maybe anyone out there. And Bedell is extraordinarily fast too. So if they don't make errors, they're going to be really tough to beat.
They're both asking for a let. The ball comes to the middle. It's
Stroke.
I think they're
Left side, 7-1.
debating which side to serve from. Here we are, 7-1. James Stout going for a backhand winner through the middle, hits the 10. So team in blue, Mike Ferreira and Wynton Morris, are down 2-7.
3-7.
A nice angle that got past Bedell, and 3-7. A nice angle from Mike Ferreira. So this is Andrew Slater from the University Club of Boston. I'm joined by touring pro Will Hardigan. He's also a member of the University Club of Boston, so we've went on the court a few times together. And he's played against all these guys. I played Wynton when he was a junior a few times. So
did you?
Yeah, he was trying to qualify for Heights Casino. And
do you have any W's against him?
Oh yeah, yeah. But I don't want to play him now.
Right.
But it was good. The Heights Casino always had a great junior program that really instilled a lot of the juniors going down in the doubles court and giving it a go. That Johnson tournament comes up end of February, and in my day, it had the largest prize money of any of the tournaments. Just so happens that this MFS Boston tournament has the largest purse to date this year. I know there are a couple on the docket later in the year that have more prize money, but all the top guys are here that can make it. We should a little shout out to 2 guys who are injured at the moment. Damian Mudge, arguably the greatest player to play the game. He's had a knee operation. And Manik Mathur, who was playing with Chris Callis at the start of the year, tore his Achilles in New York, and he's out for the rest of the year. So big opportunity for all the pros to catch up with points and prize money and so forth. And we're seeing a lot of new faces here in Boston this year. And it's, with the women, it's the largest pro doubles tournament as far as participants ever to be held. So
videos recently surfaced online of Monik doing some workouts, which is great news. He's been couched since he tore his Achilles until the last couple weeks, and he's starting to get back on his feet, which is great.
Yeah.
But there's no doubt that, for the last 2-3 years, there's been no question who was going to win every single tournament. Monik was going to win every tournament. And now it's much more difficult to call who's going to win.
Yeah,
these.
we can't call a winner of this tournament.
There are five, six teams in the draw that on any given day potentially could. There's definitely a favorite. I mean, I think Swiss and Bernardo, are the best team. But can you really say that they're definitively better than the team we just watched, Callis and Russell? Or
exactly. I think there's without Manic and Mudge, there's definitely some parity. The other thing, shout out to Victor Berg in Vancouver, over 40 at the moment, but several-time, multi-time champion. He tore his ACL playing singles of all things in Vancouver earlier than year, so he doesn't even have a chance to take advantage of Manic's injury. So anyway, both teams kind of feeling each other out. You got Ferreira constantly going cross court to Bedell. He's probably been on the court with him a few times, and whoa, he let that one fly a little too high. He went off out in the back court. So point to Stout and Bedell. Bedell serving.
what's your strategy if you're the white team?
I always mix it up, but I really don't want them to tee off on me, so I would probably fire the ball all around the court, keep it high, and really be careful when I go short, because if the ball hangs up, these guys can come in and crush it.
Yeah, you don't want to float it to Mikey like that too much.
There's a perfect example of what happened there. There was kind of a medium-paced ball to Mike, to a shoulder-high backhand, and he said, "Oh, thank you very much," and just hammered it into the mix. Routine shot for him. Same thing there. Open ball, reverse winner. Look at this thing.
Yeah, I mean, he hits the backhand reverse as well as anyone.
Yeah, and you know what? James Stout had position on him, and gave him. In the old days, what you'd do is you'd stick your leg and take away the reverse and take one for the team. But Mikey hits it so hard that he might have tried that once or twice playing against Mike and said, you know what, probably not a good idea to. And that's calf high, and that might put you out of the match.
No, when Mikey hits the reverse, he hits it hard, and it lays down.
Yeah.
You're not getting it.
James knew it was coming. He took half a step and said, forget it. There's no way I'm getting that.
One issue I see for the blue team is that one of their biggest strengths is Witten's cross court and exposing people with pace. And I've played Stout enough to know that he's not going to have a whole lot of problems with Witten's pace.
Yeah, in which case, he's got to mix it up a little bit more. I haven't seen a lot of balls going to James Stout's backhand yet. You want to, with a lefty, you always want to kind of jam him, not really have him hit the forehand constantly. (9-9). You got a really close match at the moment, and despite that lead that Team Blue gave up, they've battled back, and they're right in this. So playing a let here, 9-9.
Against Stout, I find that the traditional spot you're trying to hit on cross courts, low at the wall where the wall meets the floor, is actually his favorite place to take the ball. He's so good at his feet that I think it's good to blow it high and hard against him and let his partner take it at the door rather than giving it to him in at his hip, in at his hand, where he can chop it in.
Yeah, Winton, the last two shots put it right in that spot, and James, to his credit, just said, you know what else you got? I'm just gonna keep popping it back, and I'm not bothered by that. Mike came around, had an opening, and just hammered it into the bottom of the tin. 9-9 critical spot. He's upset with himself. I should point out that Mike Ferreira was the finalist here last year with Swiss. Everyone calls Swiss Swiss because his proper name is Yvon Bedell, which, if you say very quickly, is really tough to pronounce. There's a lot of nasality there.
Do you speak French, Slates?
Ben ouais, je parle avec un accent
That was pretty
québécois,
convincing.
et puis je peux parler avec un accent parisien.
We've
So
got
the
a
answer
few,
is yes, I do speak French. I am bilingue.
What do you think? Do you think they'll give him a let here?
Left side, 10
I don't think so. Ooh, that's a soft call. Back in the day, he wasn't getting a let.
It was a little high. They might have said, you know what, he could have popped it off the back wall. Yeah, it's first game, and they didn't object to that. So if I were Witten and hit that shot, I'd be a little upset, and then I'd kind of stare down the referee a little bit and said, you know, I blocked him out, and
11-10.
granted that you're not going to win that point, but you know, in game 3 and 4 that might come in handy where, you know, the referees can say, you know what, that was a pretty good shot, and we didn't give him a break in the first couple of calls, and now we're going to give him a break.
Well, you like to get in the ref's ear early and often.
Do I?
Don't you?
Yeah, I pick my
guessing
spots.
the calls right from the start. Keep him on his heels.
I pick my spot. It really depends who I'm playing. If I'm an underdog going into the match, then yeah. Like for instance, I'll tell you something. Like if I'm playing Gary Waite or Clive Leach or somebody like that foot faults, and the very first time I'm gonna, you know, and I'm definitely not favored against them. I am gonna point it out right away and make sure the referee's watching. And that also gets them, the opponents a little flustered too, because there aren't too many people who pick that up. But you got to pick your spots though.
So
what a shot!
All of a sudden we're at 13,
11-13.
11-13. White team is down. What's the difference been down the stretch? White took a huge lead.
And there's the game to Mikey.
11-14.
Oh, we're not. It was tin, apparently. We couldn't hear the tin from our station right here. It looks like they called a let. And there's James Stout going cross court back to Winton, and got Winton right about waist high. And it's amazing for how quick James Stout's racket is to bring the power to the point where Winton can't even get set.
That's a huge shot at 14-12.
Yep.
Hit a dead cross-court nick from the door.
And Team White coming back, serving 13-14. It's still match ball for Team Blue. There and people out there who are watching doubles online for the first time. Doubles is a very streaky game, and look at that. Bedell went for a winner off the serve and hit a tin. Might be a little bit of inexperience there, especially on a critical point like that where you've worked yourself back into the game. All right, so it's one game to love for Ferreira and Morris, and we'll be back in 2 minutes with game 2. Stick around. Okay, we're back in SDA Live land. We've got some professional doubles coming from the University Club of Boston. This is Andrew Slater with club member and tour player Will Hardigan, and we've got Team Blue, let me call them the veterans, Mike Ferreira and Wynton Morris. They're one game lead over James Stout and Eric Bedell from the racket. They're all from the racket and tennis in New York City. The Team Blue are members. The white team are pros. The pros might be laying down, who knows? They want to keep their jobs. Well, if you were Team White, what would you do out here? Because they've given up a lead in the first game. They were up 3-4 points, and they ended up losing it.
I've come to realize that in so many of these high-level dubs games, the difference is just purely who makes the most errors. And White made way too many errors down the stretch. I mean, they had a big lead, and Bedell made 4 or 5 errors down the stretch and let him back in it. And you can't do that with Mikey and Witten. Mikey's also shooting really well to me. I mean, he's got the backhand reverse going. And what happened there? Did Blue win that?
Well, they're debating that whether the ball broke or they couldn't tell. Mike went for a shot. They couldn't tell whether it was a 10.
I couldn't see he was blocking.
And Eric's saying no, it was down. Mike is saying that
he's calling his own ball down. Eric?
No, it was a winner, and I think it went to the judges, and they said, you know what?
I think Eric has got to bring the ball over to Mikey more effectively. He's floating a lot to him.
Yeah, well, you got to. It looks like they're going to try and set James up here. If Eric's making a few too many errors, and he'll probably go into the Wynton Morris mode of just playing everything to the left wall and have his left wall player try and take charge. That's the easy thing about playing right wall. You can always blame it on the action on the left wall.
Yeah.
You just keep hitting it cross court and hope for the best. Easy game if you're a right wall player. And Wynton hit an overhead, and it hit the top line and bounced up. So Eric's serving over to Wynton.
A lot of errors here so far. I don't think this match has reached the groove that I think it eventually will. But against the blue team, it would really pain me to make as many errors as the white team has, because they're really not the most patient team on the face of the earth. I mean, they're extremely experienced. They're not going to give you matches, but if you can keep them in tough situations and really keep them in a tough match, they will give you some errors. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah.
I don't think Bedell should be feeling the need to shoot.
Well, he just did. Like he hit a great shot. Very risky against a really fast player like Wynton Morris, and he did beat him there. So 3-1, Stout and Bedell go up in the second game.
Ooh.
And there's some heat from Wynton, and then the grip that he uses allows to keep the ball down when you hit it, flat with a little bit of spin.
His swing's incredible. It's incredible that he generates so much heat.
You're talking about Wynton?
Wynton.
Oh, yeah.
He's got a big backswing, too, which can be problematic if you're playing against him.
You got to stay in front of him then, Will. You might have to take a few for the team. So we got a longer rally here, and
what a get.
A nice get by Wynton, and Mike sees that Wynton's out of position and just lobs it up to the right, and good scrambling from Team Blue. All right, coming in, 2-3. Winton was trying to keep Bedell honest there. Usually he's gone cross court and he went down the line just to keep everyone attuned that he can do it. We're going to play a let there.
I don't think blue has all that much of a strategy right now aside from keeping the ball in play, because white has given them a huge number of errors. At this level, as you said to me last night after watching my match, you just can't make that many errors, Will.
Yeah, yeah, the big thing here is that if you've got an opening, you go for it, but you can't make an error. You can hit it a little high and move the other player. You got to use the shot to get that up and back kind of motion and get the other team scrambling a little bit. But once you hit the 10, the point's over. So even if you hit a few high balls here and there, at least you're still in it. And Team Blue actually had a good scrambling point there where Winton, basically was on the floor. Mike Ferreira popped it up into the air and allowed his team to, come back, hit the ball another 5 or 6 times, and then win the point. So here we go from Bedell is cross court to Mike Ferreira. Mike is getting cross court. It's interesting that they're okay. So Winton wanted to wind up and ask for a let. Eric, I think, is a little frustrated that they got away with a let. But I don't think he understands that in the old days that everyone swung through. So, okay, here's another interesting call. So Mike Ferreira, this should be a let because, yeah, they're going to play a let. So Eric Bedell shaped up to play a backhand volley, let it go for his partner, and it hit Winton Morris. So once you shape to play the ball and let it go and hits the opponent, it's going to be a let. You basically have to shout it out or have your racket down to have your partner play it for it to be a point. So James Stout, little opening, but he's at the back of the court, goes for a little roll corner, hits a 10. So 2-point lead for Team Blue.
Right side.
I think Mike Ferreira got away with that one. They got to his forehand, and his only shot he's claiming would be hitting a boast into the right wall, and James Stout was there, but pretty good angle from Eric Bedell to catch him there. And he tried, it's Team Blue heats it up that much, and you want to take a little bit of the pace off. We got a full house here. The air is a lot hotter, and the ball was starting to fly, and he just tried to lob it, and it went sailing off into the crowd.
That's one thing Bedell has a lot of, is really tricky stuff, off the volley, stuff up front. Particularly when you're practicing with him, when you're playing sides or something, you'll see some stuff that you don't see very often. He's super high skill level, but his problem, as we mentioned at the beginning, is that historically he's made too many errors.
Yeah, he had an opening there and hit the 10 with his reverse. But, that's something, he's new to the tour, and, the better he gets, or the more matches he sees, he'll realize, to keep those errors down and really pick your spots.
That's a tough thing about doubles, is finding a balance between, he's seeing opportunities. The ball's on his racket, and he knows that he has the skill level to shoot, so he's going for it. He just happens to be making errors, so you could argue that he's going for it at the right time, but that he's making errors. So at what point do you back off and just say, okay, I'm going into more defensive mode?
Yeah, the problem with squash, it's a win or lose situation. So, if you're losing matches because you're making errors, and you gotta you got to rethink it. But then again, you know, you get a couple of good wins under your belt, and you get your confidence. So it, you know, it almost becomes muscle memory. You see the ball, and it's sort of like a Chris Callis or a John Russell at the moment. You know, you see an opening, and you know you've done it so many times, routine, and you know it's muscle memory. So rather than being nervous or wondering whether self-doubt, you get a few wins and that changes. So we're going to see here how Team White bears down, because now they're down by 3. They're peeling the serve. Looks like it's going to be a second serve.
I don't think it's fair how often these guys who work at clubs get to practice. If you go over to the racket club at 2 or 3 in an afternoon, you've got a good chance of seeing Stout and Monic and Bedell and now
Why
Bobby
not?
Burns on
That's the
court,
way it was in Philadelphia
just
and
battling
Toronto.
sides
Yeah.
against each other.
Well, in Toronto and Philadelphia, we had, you know, we had 4 guys always, like, you know, after the lunch crowd, you know, 1:30, 2 o'clock, you'd have a good hour, and you know, all the top pros would be around to play. Makes for a long day, though.
Yeah. It's really tough against Witten when he gets a ball off the back wall that sits up a little bit. He can generate so much pace from the back of the court. If you're on the left wall and getting his cross court, it's very, very difficult to see and pick up. But he can also hit the straight rail down the line really, really well with proper weight.
Let's see it. Yeah, a good replay here in that Mike Ferreira was set up for the reverse.
And now it's 7-9.
And he knew that he had the opportunity and tinned it, so he groaned, obviously a little upset that he missed that opportunity after a relatively long rally too. So quite patient before he went for that.
We've got Jamie Laird in the box with us here. She was a teammate of mine at Cornell.
8-9.
Part of the big Canadian contingent that was brought down.
Oh, for sure, like me.
From Mark Sackby.
Yeah, knew his father very well. Wow. So back of the court, backhand, power 10 from James Stout.
8-10.
Ferreira and Morris up 10-8 the second game here. Bedell going short and long to Mike Ferreira. There's the windup from Witten Morris. He went straight down the right wall.
I find that White's spending a lot of time in control of these points, and they're seeing the opportunities. They just haven't executed to this point, but I think they will.
Okay, they're 9-10, so they've battled back. Critical point in the second game. Looks like James Stout's trying to work Winton, trying to get to his backhand. We're going to play a let there. He's trying to jam him a little bit. And Winton, to his credit, is just getting the ball back, popping it up. He's not trying to shoot off this. He's being patient and trying to set Mike Ferreira up. All right, so Mike Ferreira
11-9.
saw the opportunity, went for frontside nick with his backhand, and Bedell saw it and made the error, so it doesn't go down as a winner. Wow.
11-10.
Winton, rare error, hit the tin. Mike Ferreira serving to Eric Bedell. 11-10. There's a good ball through the middle by Bedell. He went through the middle and forced Wynton Morris to just pop up a backhand, which he then unloaded on that. So 11 all. Good comeback from White. Oh, look at Mike Ferreira. He's upset with that
Big
one.
point.
And he had an opening too, and tinned it. 12-11 for White. Wynton set up from the back of the court as you predicted. Hit a hard low rail. Like Bedell could have stood in front of that, taken one for the team.
You would have.
Well, I used to wear depending on if I played against Bentley, I was wearing long pants. I wore sweatpants just to take the hit.
That's a tough ball to hit really well, though. The straight rail.
Yeah. Well, he's got the grip for it.
Overhit it. He does have the grip.
Yeah,
for it,
he's got that flat forehand. So
Swift hits it really well too. And now that I think about it, he hits it flat also.
When you go down the wall, yeah, you should hit to hit that front neck. Yeah, you got to hit it flat. You know, the great player of Hall of Fame last year, Maurice Heckscher, hit that really well.
Look at that.
Yeah.
That's what we were talking
Yeah,
about.
just
This
he
is
backs
so
him up
difficult
and
to
just
do,
yeah.
especially with someone as quick as Bedell to get that ball by him.
13-12.
Really good length by Wynton, and he lays it down. As I said before, hardest hitting over 40-year-old there is.
Now that Monic's gone, there aren't that many guys that hit it harder than him at all. I mean, who else?
Well, Ben Gould's gone too. So.
Yeah, Gould's gone. Bossett is gone.
And the ball too is a little softer this year. So
you think so?
Yeah, I think so. After 2 games, it doesn't go as fast as the old ones. But we'll see what the new batch is like. Oh boy, Mike Ferreira really upset with himself. He came around. James Stout was jumping out of the way, and Mike hit the tin. So 13 all. Close match here. Wynton, rare error, and he's yelling at himself. Rare error.
All right, 1-all. We have a match. John Hyatt in the box. Would you like to say anything?
All right, we're going to be back for game 3 in 2 minutes. The players are taking a break. We're going to take a break as well. Hello out there in SBA Live Land. It's Andrew Slater coming from University College Boston with touring pro Will Hardigan, also a member of the University College Boston. So we're 1-1. Everyone from New York. Hello,
Slate,
Stouts from England. Will, yes.
you were calling me hometown hero until my match last night. Does that have anything to do with my performance?
I was really pulling for you, Will, but I'm sorry to have you,
Early
sit by the
exit.
sidelines being the commentator.
But now I get to commentate with you.
Well, get your paper and pencil out and write the notes down.
One thing I would like to point out before the game begins, because I just got a text from Eric Bedell's girlfriend, Alex Budd, who's a good friend of mine. I introduced them, okay?
Yeah.
And I don't feel like they give me enough credit for that sometimes. But I just want to get it out on the airwaves. I did introduce Bedell to the love of his life, Alex Budd.
Well,
Have you ever?
Thanks, Will.
Are you responsible for any marriages?
Yes. Usually there were women that I really had a crush on, and I introduced them to their husbands. It's happened a few times. So I'm a very
nice
good matchmaker at sacrificing.
One love.
So here we go, replay. Eric Bedell hitting the ball past Winton Morris. And Team White has the first lead of the match. Winton, another error, getting frustrated with himself. Body language is not good. So
I think for White to come out of the first two games at 1-all, having made as many errors as they did,
well, certainly in the first game, yes.
Blue can't feel great about that, because I think they're only going to get better.
Well, yeah, 3-love lead in this third game.
Wow.
Now 4.
Winton sacrificing the body a couple times tonight. That's his second big dive.
Yeah, and that was sort of like a 30-70 dive too, knowing that. Oh wow, he is. So this is the added pressure. He's made a few errors. Now Team White senses that he's dejected and he's made a few errors. They're going to go right after him still. I mean, there's no backing down. They've got a wounded animal there. They're going to try and put him down here. So it's 5-love for the team in white. Opening for Eric, hits the tin. So 1-5, Winton Morris coming in to serve to James Stout.
You can see that Blue really came out with the mentality of hammering the right wall, Bedell. But you can see what happens if Bedell gets hot.
Yeah, they're way down. Mike Ferreira tried a 3-wall and tinned it, so they're down 1-6. And now 7-1 coming in, so really quick turnaround from potential game-winning position by Blue to, now they're way down in this third game.
Ooh,
a little lucky one
coast to
came
coast.
off the back wall.
Do you have a name for that ball where you hit it all the way in the air straight and you hit the nick in the back wall without
That's called a
touching the floor?
Mexican drop shot.
It is, right?
Mexican drop shot, and usually when you hit it, you yell out "Olé."
I didn't want to say it in this current political climate. I didn't know if it was okay, but
Well,
you're Canadian.
I am.
So you can
I'm
say
neutral.
It. You're
like,
neutral.
Like the Swiss. So, yeah, we're peacekeepers. So, yeah, the Mexican drop shot, the reason why it was such a good shot in Mexico is that they played it in Mexico City. They played at altitude. And with a hard ball, the drop shots were unheard of. So none of the Mexican players really had any touch. So they discovered a way of putting the ball away into the net by the Mexican drop shot. So Jahangir Khan, when he had that tremendous run in softball of never losing, he did drop his first hardball final to Mark Talbot here in Boston at 1 point. And then after this long streak of never losing in hardball or softball for years, he lost to Mario Sanchez at the Skyline Club, and Mario got hot hitting the Mexican drop shot, and Jahangir Khan had never, ever seen
9-2.
this shot played in a softball or whatever. And Mario got about 10, 12 of these nicks and beat him.
I feel like I'm drinking from a fire hose here. That was a lot of good data. I mean,
well,
that's some good color.
Yeah, so Mario had probably the win of his life against Jahangir Khan. Not too many people who can lay claim to that. Probably the greatest player to ever play the game.
Jahangir?
Jahangir, yes.
I thought you were talking about Mario Sanchez. I was about to
best Mexican
throw the
player
flag.
ever. Best Mexican player ever, Mario Sanchez. Although not the greatest doubles player. Probably Pepe Martinez. Probably he could bring it. He could hit it hard. So anyway, we're back to the action here. Team Blue down 4-9, and Mike Ferreira just had an opening
right
and
side.
hammered it into the tin. So long uphill climb here for Team Blue. And what's interesting,
5-10.
I just almost gave an announcer's curse there.
What?
I said that James Stout was kind of mixing it up against Wynton Morris. He hit a soft crosscourt and Wynton just hammered a winner into the front nick. So maybe it's a better idea to keep the pace up on Wynton. So we got some cross-court exchanges from Wynton Morris and James Stout. No one really giving up anything.
It's a lot of heat from Wynton Morris, handled effortlessly from Stout. Little team dissension there. Down.
Well, also I'm not sure whether James Stout meant to hit that. I think he was trying to go straight and he hit the sidewall and it just kind of squirted in the middle. And it wasn't a very good shot at all, but ended up being great because Mike Ferreira thought that Wynton was going to take it on his backhand. All right, 11-5 for Team in White.
Have you ever played at the Whippenham Club? Gaetano Cipriano's court?
I have not. I used to play with Guy at Princeton before he built the court. Way back when.
It's a heck of a court. He's got a spectacular story about Rob Dinnerman playing out there and requesting prior to the match a double mop of the floor.
Yes. Well, Rob does not like slippery floors. He's got a history of not liking that. Very fastidious as far as floors, because with a new court, you get a lot of dust from the sanding of the boards, and then if it's not played day in and day out or not mopped every day, it can be dangerous.
Fastidious in general. I heard that Dinnerman flew to this was before serious security in airports. I heard that he flew to a tournament in Cleveland, fell asleep on the plane in a weird position, woke up, and he had a stiff neck, and he just stayed on the plane, turned around, went home. Didn't even get off the plane, Slates.
I haven't heard that one, but there was an incident in Oklahoma one time, walking in the airport and stubbing his toe. Whether there's any truth to that or not, but I'd have to go back to my sources on that one. That was before my time. I think the ball has they've got an issue with the ball. It could be broken. And here's the situation: if they find a crack in the doubles ball, the rules state it must be replaced. And the reason is that after every rally they're going to say, oh, is it broken? Is it broken? So you basically have to replace the ball. So there's a little pause in the action while they probably grab a fresh ball.
Those. Martino, what's the score? You guys?
We have another match going on simultaneously. Clive Leach and Kyle Martino are down love 2 to the number 1 seeds Bernardo Samper and Swiss, also known as Yvon Badin.
Those Mexican players that you referenced, do you know where they were from? Were they from Mexico City?
They all played out of Mexico City.
The same club?
Don't know that for sure, but they were all very good juniors, very good hardball players on the hardball tour.
Do you have any idea what those guys are doing now? Are they coaching?
Mario Sanchez is, well, he took up, he tore his Achilles, basically career-ending injury for him in his late 30s, and he was an equestrian rider, and he got involved in Mexican politics. He was effectively for the state of Mexico. He became a politician. What he's doing now, I'm not too sure. I know probably the hardest hitter before Damian Mudge and Ben Gould, who's a Mexican former highlight player by the name of Manuel Loza.
Wow.
Who could really bring it.
Manuel's from Puerto Vallarta, right?
Yes, he has a squash club and he's a great reader of books and he has a bookshop / squash club in Puerto Vallarta. That is correct.
That's more good color slates. I went to the John Power squash camp at Dartmouth when I was 15 or 16, and Manuel was a coach there.
Yes, Manuel was quite a colorful character on tour. We can't tell all the stories online here. I'll have to tell you after a long break with a new ball. Little sitter for Eric Bedell and puts it into the tin.
I always find there's a little different tempo to the game after a new ball comes into play.
Yeah, it's faster, and you got to watch out because it's new. It can take some really weird hops.
You've got to imagine Ferreira gets excited when there's a new ball in play.
Yeah,
he likes to crank it up.
Yeah, and he likes to use the angles too, so a little weird skip or two.
9-12.
There's a reverse winner from Eric Bedell.
That was down.
Oh, it was down, okay. You're right.
Error from Mikey.
9-13.
Okay, 9-13. Mike Ferreira serving to Eric Bedell. Not a lob serve, just hammers it in there.
Mikey's good for a couple aces a match because he hits that a rare pace winner against Stout. But that was a great spot from Witten.
Yeah, he got to James Stout's backhand there, and James knew he was beaten and tried to go around the back, and it did not make it.
Mikey likes to aim for the Mexican Nick right in the corner on the serve. And
yes, and even if he misses it, it's going to come straight along the side wall.
And when the ball's really moving and he's hitting as hard as he can, you know, it either hits the back wall first and shoots straight up the wall, or it hits the side wall and squirts out into the middle. It can be really difficult to handle.
Especially if he mixes it up with one that breaks off the side wall into your body.
He likes to do it at really pressure situations too. Ooh.
12, 14,
all right,
12.
still game ball here for Stout and Bedell. 14-12.
What sort of odds would you need to take blue team in this situation?
Well,
in this
should
game.
have asked me right in this game.
Yeah, now that it's 13-14.
Yeah, they're probably, I think with experience, I'd give them 40%.
Okay. I'll give you those odds.
Winton thinking that
Witten
he
wants a
didn't get-
stroke, but it's
yeah, he's fishing there. It's
14
It
all
was,
left side, game ball.
I think it was more that his backswing was hindered a little bit, and he
Out.
really didn't want to play the ball. Not sure where they called it.
That's why
They've made it
that's why there's
14
3
all.
refs
They gave him a left point. So I guess he caught something with his fishing. So now from 40%, it's 50-50.
yeah. This is great action. I love this. Ooh.
Wow. So that was a forehand laid down straight drop from Eric Bedell at 14 all. Gutsy shot. And we'll be back for
Wow,
game
well,
4 in 2
It's
minutes.
better when you have 3, because then if you know, at least then majority rules, right?
Okay, we're back for the start of Game 4 at the University Club of Boston. It was the MFS tournament, and it's the largest prize money to date on tour for this season. A team in white, James Stout and Eric Bedell, just won that third game by 1 point. Great winning shot by Eric Bedell. They lead 2-1. In between games, Winton Morris was really fired up.
Yeah.
I think he really wants to get engaged, maybe a little more physically than he's used to playing.
So what's your call here? If you're blue, what do you think their mentality should be? Down 2-1.
Can't make keep the heat up. Don't make errors. You get up a few points, you can go for a few shots. But I think they got to stick to their game plan. I mean, they're up 1-love in this fourth game, but the match is tied in total points. The match is tied right now. So we've got the bangers, Mike Ferreira and Winton Morris.
That's more great data. Were you running numbers during the break?
I can see it on the screen, and I just,
You're like
adding
Rain
it in
Man.
my
If
head
I
there.
drop toothpicks on the ground, are your eyes gonna roll back in your head?
I'll think of all the
Go to airplane
combinations
mode
to pick
and,
them
like,
up,
swipe
Will.
up.
I saw. I was talking to Serena Fagan at the break, who is my mass state doubles partner, and have I told you that our team name, Fagan Hardigan, is Team Fartigan?
2-1.
2-1.
I think you can say it on the internet, maybe
Okay.
not on public television.
Okay.
Just imagine if you guys became a couple and got married.
All right.
Yeah, that would be
come
really.
on.
I've heard of Benifer and
Benifer, now Fartigan.
yeah, it's so romantic. Okay, Mike Ferreira coming around and giving the heat to Bedell.
You're right that Witten's grip really does
And that's
help
two
him
out.
hit proper weight on his length. He has a lot of
When
balls.
he goes straight, when he goes straight. But what their Team White is finding that if they can get to his left hip and to his backhand, he really can't do much except for just kind of popping it back into play. He, with that grip, he can't really hit a lot of backhand winners. So, but playing with Winton, you know what you're getting, and Mike, this seems to be a good pairing
Because Mike really likes to play that way too.
yeah. See, Mike uses a two-handed backhand, doesn't release till late. So if you bring it to his forehand and to his right hip, he's got the same problem. He's got to flip all the way around to play his forehand. So he's a little late on his forehand down the middle.
Mikey also doesn't mind being the shooter on the team too,
Well,
right? Like,
absolutely.
if you get Mikey a lot of opportunities.
You like to be the man. That's okay.
Yeah.
You're the man. You have more fun. But it's win or lose by the sword.
Right.
So right now, they were up in this game, and now they're down. It's 2-3. Still a really close game. Really close match.
Great spot from Mike.
Yeah, Eric moves way up. He's like 2 steps in front of the red line, and Mike burned him with the low hard crosscourt. That is the. I mean, you play high up in the court too. That is the problem when you play against a power player, in that you put yourself at risk at not being able to see the ball very well to at least keep it in play.
Out.
Playing a second serve here. Ferreira and Morris up 5-2.
Where do you think the optimal spot relative to the red line is to be standing if you're playing a hard hitter like Mikey?
Well, you want to make sure that your opposing player doesn't screen you. That's the first thing. And a good player who screens well will keep moving up if you keep moving up to the point where you've moved up too far to the point where balls are passing you. So, it's a gray area, and it really depends on the quality of the guy going cross court to you. If he's got heat like Mike Ferreira, you got to be really careful how far up you go, because he brings it to the point where if it's like knee height, all you can really do is pop it up. Shoulder height, it's a lot easier, but I mean, Mike does hit.
Oh, that was such a good counter from Mike. Watch this.
Yeah, just a little feather drop. That's from the singles days right there. Full stretch, takes his time, and just little dinks it right into the corner. Beautiful shot.
This guy over here.
Those of you who don't know, Mike Ferreira was, even though English All-American at Trinity College in Hartford, and was part of that long run of wins by Trinity, winning the intercollegiate singles.
He was there really in their prime, I think. Another U Club guy, Pat Malloy, was on that team. I think they were captains together.
Yeah, and Pat Malloy was with me in Europe. He was playing for the U.S. team. He played, I think, number 2 ahead of Julian Illingworth. I think Julian, that was, I think Julian was probably maybe 15 or 16 at the time. What awesome
4-7.
several-time U.S. national
Pat Malloy
champion.
played ahead of Julian
Yes.
on the U.S. junior team.
Number 4 was Michael Blumberg, and number 5 was Greg Park.
Wow.
5-7.
Greg Park lost his first 2 matches. Probably, maybe he went into the plate and played 11 matches in the singles, and he won the finals of whatever, you know, end of the road plate he had to play. But yeah, really good, fun trip to Italy. Richard Gruppetto, one of John Hyatt's buddies from Atlantic City, played number 1 on that team. Richard played at Penn. Anyway, we're back to the action. 7-5 for Ferreira Morris. Winton winding up. James Stout continually going after Winton and just dumps it down to Mike.
Ooh, got him with the trickle.
Yeah, in that position,
Right side,
I
6-7.
thought James Stout did a good job of screening Mike Ferreira. Mike should have really tried to move up a little bit. He should have moved basically a little further up to see that. Winton had to play a backhand to keep it in play. Nice shot by Eric Bedell. There's Stout going to Winton's backhand again.
That's a good spot by Mikey, right at Bedell's feet. Probably got a little lucky there, just punching it back.
Offside, 7-all.
Yeah, it kind of just trickled to the front, and Mike Ferreira couldn't get it. So we're tied up 7-7. We're going to have a little heart-to-heart between the blue team, Ferreira and Winton Morris.
7-all.
Okay.
Heart-to-hearts with Mikey in the heat of battle consist of hit harder, bring the heat.
Don't make errors.
Yeah.
Hit it harder.
No errors, hit it harder.
Yeah. Well,
that's what I like to hear. All right, huge.
8-7.
I mean, this is perfect example of the crazy momentum shifts that can happen in doubles,
they were
right?
down.
They were up 7-2, was it?
Yeah, 7-2, and now they're struggling. Eric Bedell kind of stumbled and figuring he was playing a safe shot and fired it off the front wall into the, yeah, it's 8-8. They missed that last point, that Winton 10, so it's 8-all. It's still a 1-point match here, you know, it's that close. And this is, whether he meant to hit that shot or not, Eric Bedell, whether he tried to hit the reverse, he hit, we call it in Canada a Z shot, not a Z shot, a Z shot. Went through the middle, and Winton kind of was going for the reverse and sort of thought he could hit a back, and they gave him a whack though.
It's tough when you set up like Winton to hit every ball hard. I have this problem.
9-8.
You set up to hit every ball hard. It's very hard to pivot between swinging really hard at it and then all of a sudden hitting a finesse shot when you have an opening. Ooh, squirter.
9-all.
Yeah, you know what? He made an error on the previous one, and he's going, I meant to do that. Yeah.
The squash gods,
so
yeah.
50-50. You know, there's no, I'm just going to just bump this up for a lob type of action there. It's more, how am I going to get my racket around and hit this hard wherever?
9-all.
That was fishing. We're going to, yeah, it's 9-9.
Broke.
Seems
10-9. Oh, sorry. 9-10.
hard serve by Mike Ferreira.
Huge couple points here. Ooh.
Power 10. Oops.
Power 10.
10-9. It's 10-10. Mike Ferreira. we're into the fourth game, right in the meat of the fourth game here. And you were right before the match, saying how consistent James Stout is handling the power. I mean, we've hardly seen the only real errors we've seen from him have been when he's gone to the back of the court and he's tried to do too much.
It's difficult to articulate how hard Witten hits it too. I mean, he's really hitting it at another level. And if you watch Stout, ooh, what do you think?
They've got three choices: no let, or
11-10
point, and they're opting for let because that was a pretty good shot.
Yeah.
So they probably figured that he's going to be very lucky to get it back.
Great cover from Mikey.
Yeah, he saw Winton out of position, and Eric Bedell went for a really nice drop, and Mike covered. We're going to play another let. Really hard-fought match here. Still could go either way. That's a good spot. It went to James Stout's backhand, and the question is, was he ready?
Did they give him a stroke on that?
Looks like wow, that, I would have said no let.
I don't think he saw it.
I don't think he saw it either. Mike might have hit himself. I thought it hit James Stout's foot, but it might have hit, Mike Ferreira might have hit him off the front wall, might have hit his own foot. I think that's the only way that could have been called correctly.
Huge shot from Stout.
Little backhand, front wall side nick.
It's tough when everyone's banging it like this, especially towards the end of the match when it's really tight, to hit a finesse shot like that, like Stout did.
Exactly, yeah. It requires a lot of confidence, and you've got to have done it before to even think about attempting it. If you continually do that and tin it, then you're going to see a lot of balls at the end of matches.
Great
wow, Mike Ferreira back and watch this. Just hammers that front wall side nick with the backhand. Beautiful.
It's tough because Mikey hits the reverse and that cross nick really well.
Yeah, and you have to maintain your position because he hits the cross court.
Right.
And you got
such a good spot.
And here he is. You think, okay, he might go for that front right corner again. So Eric moves up and Mike passes him. So 12 all in this fourth game. And Team White went to Winton's backhand. And Winton, look at this. He's about as surprised as everybody in the crowd. He goes for a reverse and buries it. Up 13-12.
Witten did look a little surprised on that, didn't he?
Yeah, he goes, that's it?
No,
yeah,
it's 14-12 now.
Okay.
And that's game. We're
wow.
going 5.
Look at that. That was 12 all in the span of like a minute. It's over. Okay, 2-2. We're going to be back in 2 minutes for the exciting conclusion to this match. Stick around. back for game 5, final game. Team Blue, Mike Ferreira and Quentin Morris had a good run at the end of game 4. And that momentum was just lost there. Mike just hit a backhand into the tin. We're at the University Club in Boston for the MFS Pro-Am. Largest tournament of the season so far. I'm joined here with club member and doubles touring pro Will Hardigan. And Mike Ferreira just dumped one into the tin for the first point. And a little controversy here because Quentin Morris hit a pretty good forehand to Bedell's backhand, and we're going to play a let, although I don't think he ever saw it. But place is still packed here.
Ooh.
A lot
That's
of
a
action
broken
with
racket from Mikey.
Play let, one love.
Yeah, we're going to play a let there, but he's looking at his racket. He's going, you know, I heard something. It didn't sound great. Yeah, it's not good when you have to bring a new racket into the 5th game.
Nope.
Yes, definitely a broken racket. So Mike Ferreira has to replace it. Well, he did hit the tin with the last rally, so probably a defective racket to begin with. All right, we're ready to go. One love for Team in White. James Stout and Eric Bedell.
Serena, in between the last game, said that I've got to mention that you're wearing a turtleneck right now.
Well, it's
I didn't
cold
think
outside.
it was worth mentioning.
I have 2 turtlenecks. I got a turtleneck sweater and a turtleneck underneath.
Okay. You're a veteran to the cold.
Well, and yeah, you learn in Canada, how to keep warm. You don't go outside of the igloo.
I don't think anything of the weather here, but it's all anyone's been talking about is how all the guys who come and visit once a year, how windy
Well, it's
it is.
January, yeah.
It's not so bad.
Better to stay inside and play squash all day. Okay, they're going to I think we're going to play.
Left side, 2 love.
Oh, they're going to give a point to Eric Bedell. Wow. Winton tried to kind of half volley one down the line, and
3 love.
it came out in the middle a little bit too much, and they gave a point to Eric, and then down. Blue team is down. Love 3. Looks like we're going to play a let. James Stout came around with his backhand. Didn't want to hit Mike Ferreira, and we're playing a let. So, a high shot for Mike to handle. It was open, and he went for the straight drop, but they're having a little heart-to-heart, and I think Winton basically wants to, keep the errors down here because it's 4 love for the for Team in White, the pros from the racket and tennis in New York.
This is a point in the match where it would be just totally inexcusable for the white team to give the blue team any quick points. You know,
Well, this is trial by fire for Eric Bedell here because
right.
they're up. And
good winner from Witten.
They're expecting the heat and they kind of back off a little bit, and he did have a nice choice of shot there. So you're right. I mean, James Stout's been very, very steady in this match. And the only real wrinkle is Eric's inexperience, and they're up now. So
I'd say he's gradually gotten tougher as the match has gone on. He found his groove. I think he was shooting a little too much at the beginning, but he's waiting for better opportunities now.
And that third game that they won was only by 1 point. So and they lost that last one. So this is a big lead in the fifth game. So let's see whether they can hang on to it. But as we know, doubles is very, very streaky. And just for those who are interested, on the other court, we've got Wynton Morris went for a little drop shot there, hit the tin. Mike Ferreira went over to him and said, "You know what? We gotta steady up here. No errors. Basic.
Hit harder, no errors.
Yeah, hit harder, no errors. Yeah. If we're gonna lose, let me hit the tin.
Yeah.
That's not your job to hit the tin." But in the other court, we've got Yvon Bedell and his partner Bernardo Samper from Colombia are up 2-1. I think that nicked actually, so we're big lead for Team in White, and a pretty good comeback after a 12-all in the fourth game to lose it within a minute. So good mental. Wow, a rare error from James Stout where Mike Ferreira went.
Ooh, he got him.
Yeah,
I think he had gone up the middle so many times in the match that caught him guessing.
Yeah. Nice shot by Mike and a rare error from James Stout. Nice pickup by Wynton Morris. Just got it back, and then the little lob. He's going to reset.
He's got one of the more impressive lunges in the game. Wynton does. He's almost in a full split. So
yeah, you got to be flexible. And we're going to play a let there because Wynton lifts his leg, and Eric can't take a full swing. So yeah, Wynton wanted to hard serve that, and
that's all right.
might be an argument about the correct score. Wynton is serving, so because of the error by Stout.
Great shot from Bedell.
Winner,
plays it down.
Yeah, it just really nice reverse. Mike Ferreira to serve. Probably a hard serve here to get rid of the frustration. There it is.
There it is. Ooh, he almost got him too.
Wynton had a chance to lay his forehand down. So good scrambling by Eric Bedell. Winner by Mike. So went round the corner. Good hold. You have to, and the last shot where he burned James Stout set that up because he went hard cross court before, so James has got to maintain his position, keep his forehand ready, and then Mike went around the corner for the win. They had the wrong side here. Hard serve.
Bedell doesn't step into it all that often, but when he does, you can see how big a guy he is and how hard he can
Yeah,
hit
it takes a while. It's kind of like the big unit, you know, or like Ben Gould. You know, if you floated a ball up into the right corner, then you'd see the full impact. But Mikey doesn't really do that. He hits it everything firm and hard. So you're gonna play a let there. James Stout serving to Winton Morris.
I've been impressed with Bedell in this game.
Yeah, just maintaining his composure, you know, not making a lot of errors. So
it looks easy because he's making it look easy and he's calm and he's playing well, but it's so difficult in the 5th game.
Well, playing with James Stout too, who's so steady. I mean, that gives you a calming influence. So, you know, looks like they've played together for a while,
right?
but in fact they haven't. So.
Right side.
But you know, it's you know. Okay, Team White, very commanding lead here. Overhead winner. So when you're
Dead
up,
winner.
when you're up 10-4, you've got the confidence. Go, you know, even if I miss it, I'll go for the next shot. You know, so he didn't hit the tin, hits a winner. So
great shot from Mikey.
yeah, he's got a good overhead backhand, front side neck, really. There's a point here where Eric kind of boxed Winton out and hit the drop shot.
Ooh.
James Stout lunged, went to the backhand drop.
Got alligator arms.
It didn't even make the tin. It was bowling up there. So that's
Call
okay.
A spade a spade.
Yeah, it's
we've all been there.
You know, it was a 12-5 shot. You know, it's all right.
Doesn't matter when you're getting this many errors from your opponents.
Eric Bedell very loose, up 13-6. Fars in another reverse winner. Team Blue's got a largest hill to climb.
This is getting funky. I mean, what is this position called?
Winton was a desperation let call there. Right? They'll probably give him a let just because it's 14-6, but
that was almost a highlight formation.
Yeah, that was the old look away by James Stout, which was pretty cool. Mike Ferreira just that's the match there. So stick around for a little bit. We're going to check on the other match. If it goes to a 5th game, we're going to bring it here on SDA Live. Don't go away. Check the score online if you can. We're going to go check ourselves. All right, thanks, Will. We'll see you Sunday, most likely.
Thanks, Slate. It's always a pleasure. You're gone tomorrow?
I can't do it. I got the kids tomorrow. We're here swimming,
can't you bring
squash,
the kids here?
Yeah, they're little. Okay.
Okay.
Over and out. We might be showing the other match if it's going.